we're going to check for. If input get key up, let's say key code dot L for light, I need to essentially do what I did by hand. I need to click that on and off. So we can do that programmatically by finding the light and then enabling it or disabling it. Those are the words we need to know about. So let's go get our light. Let's call it spot, just to be nice. And then we need to find our light. The component name is light, and so what we would do is say spot equals get component light. And it's these generics with get component that let you get the right type of component. You're adding them on, piecing them together with these components. Get component light, you don't need to say anything in here. You don't need to look for it in some other way. This says I'm an object, get the component that has the light type. We need to cast it to a light. I think we do. No, actually we don't, because of generics. Should be good. There's our light. And in here, I now need to say spot equals enabled equals negative spot enabled. Flip your light switch from on to off. If you're off, turn it on, turn it off. So we should be good. Let me get my light a little bigger. And now I have a spotlight. Should be able to turn it on or off. Aha! Spotlight does not have that component. You can do all the scripting you want, again, but the script needs to be attached to the object. Yes. So now the Spotlight script is attached here. Wonderful. Looking around. I can turn my light on and off. Yes?
How do you know that the script is grabbing the spotlight, not like the directional light or any other light that you would have?
Because it's looking at the object it's attached to.
Oh, okay.
So when you say get component, it says I'm a script, and like we forgot, that script needs to be attached to an object.
Right.
Because it's here, it looks over here and says, what is the other component? These are all components that's called light. And it goes and finds it. Okay. Where else do we want to go with this? We can wander around. Our light helps us.
Is it possible to get it to rotate up and down?
It should. I'm not sure why it's not. Let me subclass it to the camera, which is moving up and down. Not the character. The character isn't actually rotating that capsule, the graphics. It's the camera that's going up and down. Let's see what that does. Oh, so much better. Yes. There we go. Our light actually follows where we are looking. Everything is relative in Unity. So make sure you're subclassed to the right piece, and then as that camera moves, the light will move as well. Okay, so other things I wanted to do, make an overhead camera. I want to be able to look down at the maze and see where I am. So let's see if we can get that. There's other things. I want to add ghosts. I want to add, because it sort of looks like Pac-Man now. I'm wandering around 3D Pac-Man. I want there to be ghosts and obstacles to avoid. If we don't get it today, we'll start talking about that stuff on Thursday, because it starts to move us towards steering behaviors and forces and how do I seek and how do I find. All that stuff is starting to come together. So let's at least get the camera working. Since I have a camera here, I'm just going to repurpose this camera and turn it into my overhead camera. So, overhead camera, you need to be above everything. Let's put you up here at spot 20. Rotation 90. And I don't want you to be a perspective camera. I want you to be an orthographic camera. Wait, are you pointing up? I think I want you to point down. No, you were doing it the right way.
The range is just so far, it looks like that. The box.
Okay. Let's see what happens here. Obviously we can't see it there. We have to do our rearranging like we saw with the cameras before. Let's stick it in the front at spot 0, 0.7, 0.2, 0.2. Oh, I changed it all while I was playing. That happens all the time to me. I'm sure it happens all the time to you. Yep, and I didn't change the depth either. Good. Okay, so up there in that upper left-hand corner is the top-down view of what's going on. Just so we can see that it's really working, let's turn our directional light back on. See the floor. Why don't I see the maze?
Looking at a whole lot. Wait.
I can
It's
see my-
shadows. You look in the bottom left corner up there.
You
Yeah.
can see the
You can
spotlight.
see the spotlight.
Walls aren't casting shadows.
Yes.
And you're looking straight down on them.
That's right, because it's an orthographic view. Well, let's change a few things. I'm going to say this wall gets a different layer. I want walls to show up in a different layer called wall, layer 8. And then I can go to my camera and say, only look at things that are walls. Can't see anything else, camera. You can only see walls. Where'd you go? Let's double check my walls actually got changed here. No, they did not. Default wall. Right, I made a new layer, but I didn't add it to it. Yes, change all the children. The cube is now part of that layer, and because it's part of the game manager, it should get recreated all the time. There we go. now we can see our walls. We can't see all of them because we're so far up. Some of the walls are less than a pixel wide. So if we make that camera bigger, we should be able to see more stuff. 0.4. We can see more of those walls. If we make this thing a little smaller, by 10. Still can't see all the walls, but we can get closer. Still can't see all the walls. This frustrated me yesterday for a while too, until I finally got it to work. It's because of the pixel width, and they're just not showing up in the right spots. But if you arrange your camera in the right way, you should be able to see it. And then just like the spotlight, you can add a key to turn on or off this overhead view. So now your camera is turning into a dynamic piece as well. Let's show my overhead view. Let's show my map. And then, yeah, so tomorrow we'll talk about triggers and we'll talk about collisions and how those can get updated. Because I want to draw this map dynamically. I don't want to be able to see the whole map. You want it to be able to track yourself and say, where have I been? Only those walls should be showing up, not every wall. Otherwise, you see the whole maze and you know what you're doing. So, but I want to keep track just of our progress throughout the maze, and that's going to involve collisions, different types of collisions, trigger collisions, other type of things. Okay, so hopefully that was useful. Did you find that instructive, walking you through what I did to try to flesh out this assignment? Okay, you will find different things. You might find ways to make stacks. You might encounter some things you're like, I still don't know how to do this in C#. If you're trying to make your own objects, you're like, I just need something. I need a list node, because I love list nodes. Well, then you need to implement it yourself, put those kind of things in. You'll want to be making structures or classes. And you don't want them to implement mono behavior, because those are components. Those are things that are attached to game objects. You probably want it to be called a scriptable object. Serializable is a word that might come up to say, make sure you remember this. Classes have to be tagged as serializable, otherwise Unity will not remember them as it goes. And what is the other one? Scriptable object. If you're just making objects to keep track of data, then you want to be saying this object is a scriptable object, not a mono behavior. So you might find that helpful as well. Okay, so this is again due on Thursday. Make progress, email me, ask me questions. Good luck. Pick something other than recursive division, because now you have code for recursive division.
Did you post the scene or email it to the social thing? Just
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, and yeah, we didn't get all the way, but let me get the other one out of the oven. Like I said, save this one. Open project, maze. Oh, I want the scene. Load the scene. Perfect. There's my maze. See, it lights up yellow as I move around. In my view, only the places that I've been are yellow. Turn on and off my spotlight. And there should be somewhere this ghost wandering around the scene. Where did it go? Oh, I can't see it. Maybe it got stuck. Yeah, that sphere should not have completely disappeared. But yes, there it is. Let's go watch it. What are you doing, Sphere?